Welcome to my Java video series. In this video, we'll talk about how to use this to differentiate the local variable and instance variable when their name is same. So, use of this keyword. The very first use I'm talking here is differentiate the differentiate the instance variable and local variable when their name is same. So take let's discuss this with the help of example. So let me continue the same example here. This is my method. I'm going to remove this all. I don't require this method, and I'm going to remove all additional code here. Okay, fine. So this is my simple class employee. We have two properties here, ID and name. Generally these properties are private, so I make it private, and this is also private. So this is ready. Now we have two properties, private properties. This is a method, and we have done here simple SOP, and now I'm going to print the value from name and ID. Okay, it is all fine, and we have created here one object for the employee. Now I'm going to demonstrate here a setter method. We have already seen the behavior of setter method and purpose of the setter method. So I'm going to create a method here, public void set name, or I should start from the first property, employee ID. Set employee ID is a property method. I'm going to set the value for this property I use here. This is I is representing employee ID, and what generally I do like this. Employee ID equals to I. This is the method taking the value for the employee ID property. So here we'll receive here employee ID, and this ID will be assigned to this property. Now here I can see here one problem, and what is that problem? I need to remember here what is I need to remember here two things. One, employee ID, which is representing to the employee ID, and I need to remember the purpose of I. So I'm using here a alternative variable to represent this employee ID, because this is actually taking the data for employee ID. So why should I call I should directly use here employee ID, because in this case I need to remember the meaning of I. So unnecessary we have to remember the variable. So I think we should not remember. We should write the meaningful programs, readable programs, self-explanatory programs. So I should represent to the actual name. So this will work fine, no problem. Let me show you this first. So I'm going to set here e1 dot set employee ID 101. I'm going to set here value, then I'm going to call a method here do task. I will see here data. I set here property, and I can see here 101 is initialized here. This is done. I can initialize the property. So whatever the value you given here, 101 is given to I, and now then it is copied from I to this employee ID. But the problem here is I need to remember the purpose of this I. So I think I should directly call this I as employee ID. This is more meaningful. I should use actually employee ID through the employee ID variable, not through the I, X, Y, Z, A, B, C variables. So these variables are not meaningful, but when you use here employee ID to represent employee ID, this is a good idea. So I should do like this, employee ID. So this variable is a local variable and this variable is a instance variable. So this employee ID is a local variable, a method parameters or any local variable which is declared inside this scope is a local. So we have here this property is different, this is a different declaration and this is a different declaration. So both property name is same, both are same, both name is same, but in different scope. This is the class scope and this is your local method scope, but their name is common. So what we assume here, this right hand side part is your local variable and this left hand side value is your this instance variable. Look at this, run this program, look at the value, nothing is initialized. Actually I'm initializing the data here, I'm initializing the value 101, but this 101 is received here and it is assigned to the same variable like this, like just like this. So look at this, when you have a variable integer a equals to 10 and you added here a equals to a, is there any sense for this statement? Is there any useful thing in this statement? No, it is a useless statement because a already contains 10 and you copied the same value to the same variable. So this is a useless statement. The same job we have done here. This is your local variable. It has some value like 101 we have passed here. It is holding 101 and this 101 is again passed to the same variable which is in the local scope. This data is actually not given to this variable. We are expecting to set the data to this property, but actually it is not done because this is working inside the local scope. In fact, data is received here. I can show you the data. This is your data. I can show you this employee ID. This employee ID is received here. You can check the data. Look at this 101. 101 is received here using the setter method. This is your setter. This is your setter method. Inside the setter method we have received the data. Look at this, this data is received here, but data is received here but it is not given to the instance variable. So actually this is happening due to the same name for the local variable and this instance variable. So by default the highest priority is given to the local variables. So this employee ID will get the highest priority inside this scope. So we can differentiate in this case. So when you write here this dot employee ID, when you write here this dot employee ID, it is pointing to the instance member and this employee ID is representing to the local variable. Now your scope is different. So you have common variable, you have same variable name in two different scope. When you write directly here employee ID, it is pointing to the local scope, and when you are writing here this dot employee ID, it is pointing to the instance variable. So this is how you can differentiate the local variable and instance variable when their name is same. Differentiate the variable when their name is same or common in different scope. Right, so this is how I can see. So when you are writing this dot employee ID, it is pointing to the instance variable. When you are writing employee ID directly, it is pointing to the local variable. So you can differentiate these variables like this. So this is enough for the current example. In next video we'll talk about some more usage of this keyword. So thank you very much for watching.